afternoon, everyone. Let me call to order this meeting of the West Palm Beach Community Redevelopment Agency. Today is Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025, and the time is 3 p.m. We'll start with comments from the public, and we do have one card from Claudia Kirk-Bartow. Claudia?
Good evening, I'm Claudia Kirk-Bartow. I live at 510 51st Street, but I'm here tonight, this afternoon, talking about the West Palm Beach Center for Arts and Technology. I just got back from Pittsburgh and a tour around the state from some of the other centers up there. And really what I brought back is that what does the community need? What does the community want? We're not duplicating what another state or city is doing. It's what can we do that impacts the residents in this community and throughout West Palm Beach. So I'm excited to tell you that we do have 4 students right now in the cohort for the culinary program over at Recipes for Success. But then we're also partnering and trying out the new program at the food bank, which is in Lake Worth, and coordinating transportation for a student to start in that program on the 15th. So we're trying to see what different collaborations that we can create around that. We do have a little bit of issue with moving into the building. I told you it would be August, but there is a permitting challenge, construction challenge, which I know you all are very used to. So it looks like November now, unfortunately, to be in the building, but we'll continue to be present in the community and work towards that mission. If you have any random funding available, I'm not afraid to ask for extra funding to support the programs that we're working on. And then secondly, just to be continue to be an amazing partner. So if there's anything else that we can do to support you, and I want to thank Commissioner Ward and Commissioner Fox for their continued and ongoing communication and support. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Darren Studstill.
Good afternoon, Darren Studstill, 3rd and Rosemary, City Side Suites. I just have a couple comments I would just like to make real quick. First off is on the CRA meetings. The CRA meetings in the Northwest neighborhood. I'm just going to ask if we could have those inside. For a long time, I've advocated for having those meetings inside, even though I love the park, but at the same time, when you're dealing with certain amount of dollars and different things, I just want to make sure we have our total focus. A lot of times I feel like when we're trying to deal with things, we have a lot of neighborhood noise in reference to cars, kids, and those things, and we can't get focused, and sometimes it feels like your voice is not being heard, so I just want to make that comment. Secondly, I just want to say at that meeting, our last meeting, we did get rained out, and I felt a certain way in reference to the communication, but that's neither here nor there. But just like I've always said, the cameras, parking, and safety of the Northwest has always been a major concern of mine. The camera situation, I just want to say this, the CRA is doing a great job with projects, but I just want to make sure as we move forward that we always value the people in projects in that neighborhood. The reason I say the cameras is because I'm just going to tell you a quick story. I know the time is quickie. I was an advocate for the Grand. The Grand came. People in the Grand come outside, which I'm excited for, and they clean up. They clean up the neighborhood. They don't come out to try to get photos or stuff like that. They come out and clean. Some of the ladies that come out don't have the size as I do, and I would like them to be protected, equal protection, and making sure that we have cameras, lighting, and support for those people who engage in the Northwest. Safety and security, I think, I know we're going through a lot of numbers. I'm an advocate of that, not just to have security where we have projects, but security throughout the neighborhood. I don't want to talk about my mother. I love my mother. I would like her to have the same opportunity as projects does in force security. Lastly, I want to say, I'm running out of time, is that I know we can't have we have the marketing, and I've talked to Chris and some other people that we don't have the marketing events. Those are very important to small businesses reaching a niche consumer in our neighborhood. since we can't have that, I want to make sure we have that dialogue to make sure we don't lose those people in the neighborhood. So at those, I had a lot to say, but I don't have 25 seconds. But I just want to make sure we keep the dialogue open. And if we don't have that dialogue, is that you feel like your voice is not being heard. When that happens, then we get nowhere. So I'm just asking for those three things: projects for the people, the meetings, the cameras, the marketing, okay, of that community, that we keep that dialogue open. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. We'll turn to the dais for any comments. We'll begin with you, President Lambert. Any comments?
No comments, thank you.
Commissioner Fox?
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to address a couple of things that Darren just mentioned. The first about the moving the meetings inside. I do believe the next meeting will be held at the Sunset Lounge in October. Maybe Chris can talk more about that. I don't know how deep we will get into talking about the budget tonight, as I know that we have spoken pretty deeply about all the budget items in the last couple of meetings. But to your point, Darren, about the cameras, we have added additional dollars into the Historic Northwest budget for both cameras and additional security. And when we get to the budget, I will make sure that Chris outlines the new additions since the last time that you saw the budget. And I'm very excited about the idea of having more security for everyone in that neighborhood. And then I just also wanted to mention at the end of the last City Commission meeting, we discussed quite at length about the parking issues on 3rd Street. And just because I know there are some stakeholders in the room tonight from the Northwest, just to know that that is a discussion that is ongoing. Chris and I have spoken about it quite a lot. We don't have all the solutions in place yet, but it is on the top of our mind to continue to work on. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Commissioner Ward?
No comments, thank you.
Commissioner Warren?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to invite everyone out to a mixer at Cityside Suites, which is at 401 North Rosemary. Tomorrow, it is Get in the Game. I'm sure that that has something to do with football season and starting all kinds of things there. But the Get in the Game networking opportunity is Wednesday, September 3rd at 5:30 p.m., 5:30 to 8 at Cityside Suites, 401 North Rosemary. It is a free event that is open to the public. So if you have a small business or are interested in starting one, please come out. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Roog, are there any additions, deletions, reorganization of the agenda?
No, Mayor.
Okay, we'll move to the consent calendar. We only have one item on consent. Any questions or comments on consent? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move for approval of the consent calendar. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. Hearing no opposition, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Item 7.1, resolution number 25-36, adopting amendment number 20 to the Downtown City Center Community Redevelopment Agency Strategic Finance Plan. Ms. Green?
Hello, Board Chair and Board members. My name is Jade Green. I'm the Deputy Director with the West Palm Beach CRA, here to present Resolutions 2536, 2537F, and 2538 and 2539F, the adoption of the Strategic Finance Plan and budget for the Downtown City Center CRA and our Northwood Pleasant City CRA district. As we went over the budget thoroughly on August 4th, I'm not going to repeat what we necessarily presented, but I'll give a general overview about the budget and strategic finance plan in both of our districts, and then we will also review the changes and adjustments since the board meeting August 4th and based off board's direction. And then we'll be available to take any questions. All right, so you have our Northwood Pleasant City and Downtown City Center districts, both composing of 5 target areas. The CRA is enabled by Florida Statute Chapter 163 that states that CRAs are in place to eliminate slum and blight, encourage private investment, and improve infrastructure and housing. Within our strategic finance plan, in planning our strategic finance plan and budget, we consider 3 inputs. Of course, existing projects that are in process. We've taken the community input over the last 12 months and any department requests from our partner departments within the city. Our strategic finance plan is an annual document that guides all of our activities. It outlines the goals and strategies and puts them in place for the CRA. Again, in alignment with the Florida Statute, Chapter 163. Everything in our strategic finance plan is what we have to do. So if it's not in the plan, the CRA absolutely cannot do it. And of course, all activities have to be within both of our districts. This is just an example of a page in the strategic finance plan that will lay out within the target area a goal and the strategies to meet that goal. And just a quick snapshot again of how the CRA is funded. It'll show you the split between our tax increments from the city and Palm Beach County. And basically for every $1,000 of taxable value, $12.63 come to the CRA on all the new tax increment value created. Okay. Also, we just want to include an updated snapshot of the mural going up at Spruce. I know we had the overview previously, but going into the breakdown of Northwood Pleasant City District. Nothing has changed as far as the overall budget. You still have your total carry forward of $885, your tax increment splits totaling 7.7, and then our investment earnings and rental incomes, bringing the total of revenues for Northwood Pleasant City to $8.8 million. As far as expenses, within the target area initiatives, we have the categories of consultants, communication, business development, security, neighborhood stabilization, and infrastructure improvements. And then going down into debt service, our tax increment payments, and then general operations of the CRA and reserves, bringing those expenses being paid out still to the 8.8 total. Within each target area, you will see the breakdown of funding going to each of those areas. Broadway at $395, Curry at the 1.6, Northwood Village at 1.4, Pleasant City at 1.2, industrial target area 15,000, and our other target areas 375, bringing our target area initiatives budget to $5.1 million. Within the downtown city center, we are still at the $117 million budget. Again, including all the carry forward tax increment splits, but also added within downtown city center, you have the DEDA contribution and our summary of investment earnings and our lease and rental income as well, again for $117,468,000. The categories within our expenses in the target areas are going to be consultants, communication, business development, clean and safe initiative, that is not in the Northwood Pleasant City, neighborhood stabilization. This district also has transit operations, the waterfront park project, infrastructure streetscape, and again, the DDA work plan. Bringing the total of expenses still to the $117,468,000. Within each of these target areas, you have the Historic Northwest proposed budget up there at $24 million, Nora Brailsford Providencia Park, 4.3, Clear Lake, $8 million or $8.9 million, Downtown Core, $23 million, Okeechobee, 6.6, West Palm Beach Downtown Development Authority, 8.1, and our other target area for 7.6, bringing our total of target area initiatives budget to $83,175,000. Now to discuss the changes and adjustments since the last board meeting. Based on board direction, as Commissioner Fox just stated, we are increasing security services within the Historic Northwest by $280,000, and also security services under a grant line by $280,000 within the Brailsford Park Nora target area. And then we reduced the Banyan Streetscape line by $560,000 to make these adjustments. So there were no changes in the overall budget. And then you guys received an attachment, the Hyperion attachment. And we, as a CRA, we wanted to state that the Hyperion right now does not match what's in our budget, but we will make those adjustments on all official record before October 1st to ensure that our documents are matching the budget. But overall, the budget has not changed. We just need to get Hyperion to match what we are proposing. And again, those adjustments will be made on official record before October 1st. All right, with that, the staff recommends the adoption of Resolutions 2536, 2537F, with those changes and adjustments that I just proposed, and also Resolutions 2538 and 2539F. The CRA also wants to give a special shout out to all of the departments. We really couldn't have put this budget and strategic finance plan together, particularly without our finance department and particularly without Bridget, Averill, Rosanna, Kyle, Carol, and Karen. I had to shout them out individually. And also in partnership with our police department, Public Works, Parks and Rec, City Engineering, Administrator Johnson, the mayor, and our lovely city commissioners, and my lovely staff behind me as well. Thank you.
And your mother and brothers and sisters.
With all due respect, Mayor, all of them.
Get them all in, get them all in. Thank you. Board members, are there any questions or comments? Commissioner Fox and Commissioner Baduzzi.
I also just want to say thank you so much to the team, because I know how much work goes into this and all the voices that are coming at you with changes, but I especially appreciate being able to change that line item for the security. I know it's something that is very meaningful to the historic Northwest, and also, looking forward to Nora opening soon and to make sure that they have security. And just wanted to mention that the item that we're changing, where that is coming from, is something that the Banyan Streetscape that we didn't need to finish until the next year. So it's not something
Correct.
that we're taking off forever, but just temporarily while we add these other two things to the budget for this year. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Baduzzi.
Thank you. Same topic on the security services. I too appreciate the increase in security services, but the question I had is, will that line item be go toward the security provider that the city already is utilizing, the Andy Frayne services, I think it is, or are you going to be utilizing multiple security companies?
Within the historic Northwest, yes, and it's going towards our camera and security grant program. In the Brailsford Park Nora area, that's why it's a grant. And correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. It'll be a grant within the Nora district for them to use towards security services.
Towards security service, so they can pick their own security service. I think
Yes.
we discussed this before. You just reminded me of that. Thank you.
Yes.
Commissioner Warren.
Thank you. I am also happy to see that security and safety has been beefed up in this budget. I know that it's been an issue that the community has called out for a long time, and I'm happy to see that we're adjusting and adapting policies and funds that contribute to people's overall well-being and their sense of safety in the community. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Ward.
And Chris, I don't know if you got into the details of what services they're going to be getting, but I know they were discussing off-duty police officers and private security. Did we get any confirmation on what exactly that's going to entail for our West Palm Beach Police?
So we don't have the specifics yet, but because that is going to be a new grant agreement with Nora, those details are going to come back to the board at a later date once we iron out specifically the timing, because generally all of our grants are on a reimbursement basis. So they would have to show records and documentation, and all of that will come back in the form of some type of agreement. So the board will have a full understanding of how those dollars are going to be dispersed well in advance before a dollar is spent.
President Lambert.
Thank you. My question's a little bit similar. I am extremely supportive of this change and glad that we're providing additional security dollars. I was just curious if you could describe a little bit of the process on how we selected that amount, and will we be evaluating how it's being utilized to make sure, are we providing enough? Is this being utilized well so that we're reaching the goals of the community and of the security needs?
Go ahead, Chris.
Sure. So, Commissioner, the analysis that we did was really based on similar security services that are being provided in other CRA districts. And when we looked at existing services that are being provided, these are places that include the existing services in the historic Northwest, Pleasant City neighborhood and residential area, the Northwood Village, and Broadway. And upon analysis, we looked at really that the Pleasant City approach seemed to be similar to the services that we were looking to provide in both the Nora and the historic district. And that essentially is a $280,000 expenditure there. So applying that amount to both of those districts is how we developed the amount. And now we have to sort of fine tune it now specifically with both Andy Frain and the historic Northwest and then with Nora to understand how the dollars are going to get deployed.
Excellent. Thank you for making the change. Appreciate it.
Any other questions, comments? If not, I'll entertain them. Oh. Do you have a card? Darren Studstill?
Thank you for Darren Studstill, 401 North Rosemary. I just want to also keep the option open for in the Northwest, not just to with one company. I think it's opportunity for small businesses to start in a small company. Small neighborhood. If we have small companies can start off and get some of that security, it may provide a different approach, a more communication, or also that company that we use could sublease, contract out to small companies. I just don't want it. I just would like we can have some more conversation because I'm an advocate for small businesses. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 25-36.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. Hearing no opposition, motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 25-37F.
All right. It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. Hearing no opposition, motion carries unanimously. And so that deals with 7.1 and 7.2, correct? Mm-hmm. Let me read 7.2 in the record, since that wasn't read in earlier. 7.2, resolution number 25-37F, adopting the final estimates of revenue and expenditures for the fiscal year commencing on October 1st, 2025, and ending on September 30th, 2026, for the Downtown City Center District of the West Palm Beach Community Redevelopment Agency. All right. So now we'll turn to item 7.3, and this is the same thing where we're doing 7.3 and 7.4 together, right? Okay, so I'm going to read both of those in before we begin discussion. Item 7.3, resolution number 25-38, adopting amendment number 21 to the Northwood Pleasant City Community Development Agency Strategic Finance Plan. And item 7.4, resolution number 25-39F, adopting the final estimates of revenue and expenditures for the fiscal year commencing on October 1st, 2025, and ending on September 30th, 2026, for the Northwood Pleasant City District of the West Palm Beach Community Development Agency. All right. Who is presenting on this?
Mayor, the presentation that we just,
Cover those as
it
well?
included those two items as well.
All right. Well, then if there is no discussion, I'll entertain another motion.
I move approval of resolution number 25-38.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. Hearing no opposition, motion carries unanimously. And I'll entertain another motion.
I move approval of resolution number 25-39F.
It's been moved and is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. Hearing no opposition, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Now we will turn to item 7.5, resolution number 25-40, approving a mobility improvement assistance agreement in the amount of $335,000 among WPB Mobility Coalition, Inc., the City of West Palm Beach and the West Palm Beach Community Redevelopment Agency commencing October 1st, 2025 for 3 years. Ms. Keller?
Good afternoon. Jessica Keller, Mobility and Transportation Manager. I'm here to present Resolution 25-40. We also have the Executive Director of WPB Go, some staff, and a special guest that I've been informed to give us, deliver some good news from Aramark, which is an example of success of this relationship that we have with WPB Go. We will review the resolution and agreement, alignment with CRA goals budget. Then Jonathan Hopkins, the Executive Director, will come up and explain in depth what our relationship is like and what WPB Go actually does for us, and then we'll take questions. 2540 approves the CRA's participation in the agreement, and a companion item with the city will be presented at the September 15th, 2025 City Commission meeting. The agreement terms outline a 3-year partnership. In the first year, it's $135,000 being funded by the CRA and $50,000 by the city. In year 2 and year 3, $100,000 by the CRA and $50,000 by the city. I want to talk a little bit about the services that WPB Go provides. And one of the most important things that they do is they coordinate a meeting once a month, Mobility Coalition, with all of the different members. And it's the one opportunity that city staff and all the members get to sit around the table literally and talk about the importance of mobility in our city. Some of the things I want to talk about that they have successfully advanced or completed since 2024, when we first started this agreement, is they assisted in the development of a transportation demand management pilot program, and a representative from Aramark is going to talk about the success of that with their organization. They have helped review the effectiveness and made recommendations regarding our current on-demand transportation system currently operated by Circuit using data-driven methods and best practices. They've piloted a transit app to provide visitors, residents, and employees with mobility information that integrates most or all non-car mobility options. What that means is one app instead of using 6 apps for 6 different modes. They coordinate with Florida FAU and their smart and connected streetscapes. They've supported the city's community engagement efforts as it relates to mobility. If we are holding a community engagement meeting, WPB Go is there. For example, they were there this past Thursday at one of our very important community engagement meetings, The Way Forward, where we're talking about various transportation initiatives that are going on in the city. They also have been there with us when evaluating various types of transit vehicles to be considered for future use in our city. And as I mentioned, they lead the monthly Mobility Coalition meetings. For fiscal year 2025-2026, the agreement, I'm going to talk about how it aligns with the strategic plan of the CRA. It's aligned with Goal 4 to enhance the public realm to provide a comfortable pedestrian realm. Goal 6, support the implementation of multimodal mobility strategies. And Goal 8, they disseminate strategic information to promote redevelopment and engagement in the downtown core. It's been fully budgeted. The CRA contribution, as I noted, is $135,000 this year, and the city's contribution is $50,000 for a total of $185,000. And with that, I'll have Jonathan talk about the program.
Thank you, Jessica, and good evening to the CRA board. It's a pleasure to see everybody here today. And we look forward to talking through what we really think is like best practice, not only from across the country that we're bringing here to West Palm Beach. We're a very popular place for people to visit and for jobs to come here. It definitely has a congestion impact, and so our job is to import, best practices learned across the country so that we can maintain our great quality of life while accepting like the jobs, and when we have growing families, growing companies here, that's all good for us, right? So our mission is to reduce traffic impacts, basically for the economy and quality of life. If anybody's like pro-congestion, we're not your friend, sorry. Our Partners Roundtable includes a pretty recognizable list of entities. Anybody that has many large, employers, and as well as all the agencies. And the town of Palm Beach is also a funder and a participant in this, so we help facilitate, dialogue and like coordinated actions across the intercoastal because their traffic is our traffic. Our board includes a lot of recognizable faces that I am lucky to have as strategic advisors in all of this. And our team has grown to 3. Lauren Klumovich is in the audience with us today. Amelia's been here for the past year, just over a year. And that team focuses on really like 2 main pillars of what we do. Lauren and Amelia focus largely on the programmatic efforts. That the technical term for it is TDM, but basically what they do is they're a single resource to employers to help get their employees to work in affordable and ideally less congestion-inducing ways. And we're meeting with PBA earlier today about, and I'll talk more about that program. But we work with all the large employers we can and continue to invite more to participate because not only does this help congestion, but it helps their bottom line. We help them find that out. We also do the Coalition Roundtable, which is focused on strategic alignment and bringing not just city resources to bear to things, but public and private resources to bear on common goals. And when we're all aligned, we get more things done. So program accomplishments over the past year. One of the things I'm most proud of is our collaboration with both of our universities, PBAU and Vanderbilt that's incoming. They will get the same sort of programming and support from us. PBAU, Palm Beach Atlantic has a lot more students in town right now than Vanderbilt does, so we've kicked off more with them. But that includes when students start here, our team is at Welcome Week, educating students and parents how those folks can get around. The best way to change a habit is to help them have the best habit before they even start one, right? Before they've adopted one. So, and this is a lesson not just for universities, but for all employers. Like we will be rolling out programs to help with new employees over the coming year, but this best practice we get to practice first at Palm Beach Atlantic. We also engage their commuter students and are at their career fairs, helping people coming to school or working in the community get around without a car. We kicked off a thing called the Workplace Mobility Initiative last year. Our goal is to help employers have best practice policies that reduce parking and congestion. And they best do that if they find out it's cheaper for them to do this. And so our pilot leveraged state funding and our local funding to bring in employers, working in consulting. We had a parking company, food service, retail, and we gave them, their employees, $600 worth of benefits for free to see what happened to those employees once they tried something different. We're really proud of the impacts of that. There's a community benefit with our food service employees. We found that about 40% of them and some employers got out of their car and tried something different for the first time. But there were significant employer benefits as well, and I think the best way to talk about this is invite the employer themselves. So Christy McKillop, the head of HR from Aramark here in town that serves food service for Palm Beach Atlantic, I'd like you to tell us what your experience was.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for having me. Just a little overview of the success that
This is being taped, so if you could state your name for the record, please.
My name is Christy McKillop. I'm the Human Resource Manager for Aramark at Palm Beach Atlantic University. So our partnership was a 3-month pilot. Most of my employees had never heard of the program, and they were very interested. In that 3-month span, we had a reduction in tardiness, absences. We actually had 26% from year to date. So year prior, we had 26% more in those 3 months of absences and tardiness. So this program helped us with retention and reliability with our team, so much so that our corporate team up in Jacksonville is looking into similar programs to try to get this into the other cities that we are at. So it was an amazing program with amazing results. We had such a positive result from it that they're looking into how to be a bigger partnership with Mobility Coalition.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christy. And so, what's unsaid in all this is like what makes these things work is great partners. And that's what we are. We're a partnership, right? And so Christy's been a great help in this, and we'll continue to learn from her experience to how we can improve the programs for other employers and for Aramark as the time goes forward. We also did an e-bike voucher program to help 20 residents of Coleman Park, Historic Northwest, and Pleasant City get almost about over 90% of the cost of the e-bike. They only had to pay around $80 to $100 to get an e-bike. So to me, this is the most affordable type of EB that people should, and it's It's not a congestion-inducing type of EV. We give them safety training. They get a helmet and a lock. That was a round one pilot funded by the Knight Foundation. Round two is in downtown for employees and residents of downtown. We have over 500 applicants, so applications are off the chart. Most of the applicants are medium and lower income. If you're lower income, you get twice the amount towards the amount of an e-bike, get about $1,000 off, and it's evenly split between residents and employees. One of the recipients randomly selected from this program was actually an Airmark employee. So in a program that we were doing in Coleman Park in the last phase, ended up benefiting people involved in another program that we're also doing, just showing the intersectionality of all this all. Nefertiti was very happy with her bike as the summary of that long quote. The Strategic Roundtable has 4 new members. The Westgate CRA joined. Vanderbilt University is an active participant, among others. And we've been involved in every major issue and endeavor that involves mobility in our downtown core and trying to be a progenitor of best practice. Learnings and principles from all this is that congestion-free growth is possible when we have the right tools. Jessica and the team in engineering are working on some of those right tools, so that's great to see. And our job is, once those buses and vehicles are out there, is to get those vehicles full. Anchor eds and meds are first movers in all of this. If your hospitals and if your universities are doing best practices, the rest of the community will follow. Substantial savings, if an average income employee is able to reduce ownership of car by 1, that's nearly a 20% pay boost for somebody in Palm Beach County. Also, we advertise ourselves as a Wall Street South, new jobs coming down here. Also, Wall Street South jobs are very high income. But national data shows that for every high income job you invite to a community, it brings 5 regular income jobs. Those folks can very much benefit from other ways to get around that don't cost them $1,000 a month. New residents are really important, just like those new students. And then employer buy-in is key. How do we have more Christies is one of our goals, and we'll keep working on that. Future efforts, we're moving towards a competition between downtown employers, which ideally includes city and county as employers, of who can do the most to reduce congestion the most. And we'll give out lots of awards like most improved and who has the best campaigns and who's most engaging and whose employees are doing the most. Access stands for affordable, connected, convenient, efficient, safe, and smart. We'll gain insights from that. They'll continue to get that first 3 months free, but it's really what does the employer do for the long term. We're giving them a boost, but we're trying to get them to adopt long-term policies that make a difference. We'll do recognition and annual awards. This is common throughout the country. Coming up this fall, finally, we're doing a storytelling effort, a week without driving. Anybody that wants to try our different types of services, biking, walking, city-provided transit, Palm Tran-provided transit, or Tri-Rail, tell that story. We'd love to engage city commissioners on that. It's a great opportunity to showcase the assets that we do have. And we'll just continue to do what's working. Not only is there Go Ride, but Go Together, Go Walk, all these different things we'll be promoting over the course of this coming year. And with that, happy to answer any questions that anybody does have.
I noticed you had Westgate CRA. They joined. Why was?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. And so they have.
What brought that about?
One of our members was working closely with them and suggested they join. And what's really interesting about them is, for those that don't know, is the Westgate CRA used to be part of the city of West Palm Beach. It was de-annexed during the Great Depression, but it's a great source of potential workforce housing for our community. And they're just on the south side of Okeechobee, while city limits, I guess down the center of Okeechobee. So any services that we provide on Okeechobee benefit both communities. So they're involved in our regular discussions, and they, hope to advance some of the same policies that are going on in our community that better access to jobs and give people additional access to housing.
Are we looking to expand collaboration with the county in light of that?
Mr. Mayor, we meet with the county regularly. We've invited the county administrator to come join one of our meetings. We can't solve our local problems unless there's additional funding for mobility options countywide. And so we've taken that, we don't solve West Palm Beach problems unless Belle Glade and Boynton Beach also have better transit and better walking and biking options, because if they don't, then we have more congestion. So we've been very collaborative with the county on all these, and they come to all our meetings.
And they have been responsive?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. Okay, questions, comments? Commissioner Ward?
Thank you for this. That's really exciting, and thank you for bringing the business owner, because I think it's a proof of concept that you can actually see a difference. And as somebody, you know, that I e-bike all around, I'm happy to join your week-long commitment, especially when the weather's going to be a little bit less, so I'm not drenched in sweat when I show up to a meeting. And I hope that we can continue to talk about making the maps available and understanding your guidelines, where you can and cannot go, and how to do that. I know sometimes it seems very simple, but even showing these things to my residents, it still gets a little confusing for people. And so I know we can always do a little bit better with our communication as far as where you can go, where you can't go, what the rules and restrictions are and things like that. Even if it's just short videos, I feel like everyone wants to see a video. It's hard to get them to stop and read a page or a paragraph, so maybe that's an option. But I'm noticing just in the short time that I've been e-biking, how many more people are on e-bikes and scooters. It's very exciting, so thank you.
President Lambert.
Thank you so much. This is very exciting to see and to help support. I think it's a testament to true public-private partnership, and appreciate the private sector assisting with the goals and initiatives of the city, especially these employer programs, because I think that's where we're hitting the critical mass. So Christy, thank you so much for participating and sharing. I know you mentioned the city being a participant, or hopefully being a participant. I'd love to see that, because I think that shows our leadership if we are able to do that. And I have read, and I'm sure many of us have read that book, Atomic Habits, and it talks about building habits. And I know that you've kind of been talking a little bit about that, and it said that there's 4 laws of behavior change: make it obvious, make it attractive, to Commissioner's word, make it point, make it easy, and make it satisfying. And I think that if we can help people to understand and to make it a habit, and make it very easy where it's second nature, I know that it'll be easier to adopt. I had another question as well about, in the beginning you were talking about staff and your staff, and that you said they're the go-to for employers when they have questions. And so if we meet new employers that are coming to the city, and is this something that we can suggest, that they reach out to your staff and learn about different ways to participate? Is that what you were suggesting?
Commissioner Lambert, I think that's a best practice. Like, we want to continue to work more closely with the BDB, and then anybody at the city or on the commission, if there's new employers coming here. Our job is to make everything easier. To some of the Atomic Habits points, our job is to make everything easier, both for the employer and their employees. So if you connect them with any of us, or if you get them to write go at WPBO, or give them my phone number or anything, all of us will meet with the employers, and then my team will help the employees and deliver programming to the employees. But we're here to help employers, and that's our central job.
Commissioner Fox.
Thank you so much for all you're doing. My question, I think you talked a little bit about using the tools that you have, and I think you're doing a lot of things with the tools that you have, and obviously, to your point, that it's not just people living in West Palm Beach that might also work in West Palm Beach. It might be people in Jupiter coming to West Palm for work, and people in West Palm going to Belglade and things like that. Like you mentioned, that a lot of it is a funding issue. Right now, we're seeing that there's a lot of questions on the table for Tri-Rail and the future of how that will be funded. And you and I have spoken many times about the idea of a penny tax or a half penny tax. I'm still very hopeful that this is something that might be, the county might be, thinking about for the 2026 ballot. I think the only way we're really going to make the considerable changes that we need to have, like the momentum is now. We have people coming here from all over that are used to using other kinds of public transportation, whereas as Floridians, maybe we've always counted on our cars. And so this is the time, I think, to have additional items in our toolkit to get people to be taking different modes. But I guess my question to you is there something that West Palm Beach Go can be doing in order to help facilitate the ideas of the penny tax, how it can be spent, what we would use it on, how we would help garner, I guess, the votes needed, and letting all the communities outside of West Palm Beach know what would be in it for them. I'm just curious in terms of what, I guess, what you all are working on. Is that something that is in your scope, or is that something that you could help us, give us advice on who else we might be talking to?
I think
Thanks.
Commissioner Fox, that's a great question. We meet regularly with county commissioners. We also meet regularly with the entities that are helping shape the countywide transportation master plan. To your point about appropriate levels of funding being important, our county added 25,000 people last year, 25th fastest growing county in the country. If we grew at that percentage rate for 30 years, we'd add 1 million people. And we definitely do not have a transportation system for a county that's 60% larger, nor the funding for it currently. And to the point of Tri-Rail carries the equivalent of 1 lane of traffic at rush hour on I-95. And the Tri-Rail budget from the state, their shortfall I think is 40 to 60 million, but it would be billions of dollars to add a lane to I-95. And so these tools are critical, and also many, many people depend on it. They can't access their jobs without it. So we are engaging in every constructive way we can to help a united solution happen for how we continue to be prepared for the future. And we're actively engaged.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 25-40.
Second.
It's been moved, and it's seconded. So, discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 All those opposed, like sign. Hearing no opposition, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Now turn to item 7.6. Right? Yeah. Resolution number 25-42, authorizing relocation and development assistance grant for Project Flagship for an amount not to exceed $2 million.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners. Robbie Sammy, Economic Development, here to present this item tonight. Before kicking off, I should mention that we're still operating under confidentiality under Florida statutes, so we'll continue to refer to the business as Project Flagship for today. That being said, I'll give you a brief overview as to what the business proposed to the state, as well as what the state incentives are, as well as what the city incentives are, and how that expansion of this business into West Palm Beach will have an impact on our economy today. So a little bit about Project Flagship. They are a cloud computing company out of California. Their whole solution is to provide businesses with artificial intelligence that will automate their workflows. And so this project was actually brought to us by the Business Development Board of Palm Beach County, and I'd like to thank Sean Rowan and Kelly Smallridge for being with us today, and you'll hear from them shortly. So what Project Flagship proposed was actually to provide $50 million, over $50 million in capital investment to create their regional headquarters and innovation hub. And some of the sites that they were considering included Costa Rica, Texas, their home state of California, and as well as our state, the state of Florida. I believe due to the state's quickness and responsiveness, as well as the city's quickness and responsiveness, this became very attractive to them. And so they have proposed to create 856 net new jobs in the city of West Palm Beach. That's in addition to, I believe, 700 or so employees they already have in the state, which equates to an average annual wage of $170,000 a year. Ultimately, they landed on Related's new site in City Place, which will be the 10 and 15 City Place towers. To recap some of the state's incentives, a number of incentives and a variety of incentives given by the state of Florida: the high impact performance incentive, the capital investment tax credit, quick response training grant, as well as the training grant for veterans in the state. All of those total well over $15 million going to Project Flagship. Because of this, CRA and Economic Development wanted to create something relatively more attractive as well. And so our response was to match about 12% of what the state has proposed. So that comes out to roughly $2 million. And this is to be paid over the course of 6 years. What you see on the screen is the job schedule. So again, 856 net new jobs over the course of 6 years, which will total a total grant fund of $1.8 million. Should Project Flagship deliver all of the 856 jobs they proposed, we'll add on an additional $200,000 to make that a $2 million grant fund. Clawback provisions are in place should they create less than 400.
And these are West Palm Beach jobs?
These are solely West Palm Beach jobs, yes, Mayor. So I mentioned the over $50 million in capital investment for construction. When you add in over $100 million in wage expenditure for the workforce, you're looking at over $290 million as a total economic impact estimated for the city of West Palm Beach. So as you can see, a very impressive presence in our business sector. At this time, I'd like to pause and welcome, the goals that are going to be hit for the CRA strategic goal. The main goal is goal number 8, promoting redevelopment and engagement in the downtown core. In addition to the CRA's goal, it meets a number of economic development goals, namely when it comes to providing incentives for targeted industries, in this case, the industry of technology, in addition to attracting and retaining talent in West Palm Beach and attracting and retaining businesses in West Palm Beach. And now, at this time, I'd like to welcome the Business Development Board to say a few words.
Thank you, Robbie. Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners. Kelly Smallridge, President and CEO of the Business Development Board, and on behalf of our organization, I just want to express my most sincere appreciation to your entire team, Chris Roog and Robbie Sami, and Mayor and Commissioners. You didn't just win this overnight. Yes, it appeared in the paper over the weekend, but you've been working on this for 8 to 10 years. And the reason why Project Flagship was interested in your city is the way that you outlined and have been developing the proper infrastructure for good quality economic development here in Palm Beach County. Some of the factors that came into play when Flagship looked at the city of West Palm Beach include talent at the very top, quality of education, corporate and residential real estate, safety of your streets, your mobility options, the live, work, learn, play environment. And again, I can't stress enough that while we brought this deal to you, you really made it happen. Chris and Robbie were super quick when the state got involved with this project. Some cities, and I have the pleasure and honor of working with all cities, there's no faster city in Palm Beach County than the way that your staff reacts, because if they don't react quickly in that time frame, that company could very easily look at another location, and you know that they have. I've been doing this a long time in Palm Beach County. I believe this is the largest relocation deal that I have ever seen in 3 decades, over 3 decades of doing this. So, Mr. Mayor, every time that we work with you and bringing in a project, there's something that I hear over and over and over again before we even approach you, and that is that this must be about economic opportunities for all the residents of West Palm Beach. Thank you for creating that vision. I hope you vote in favor of this incentive. And if so, congratulations on a super big win. This innovation-based company will be in alignment with the innovation-based strategy that you all have created. Thank you for your leadership.
Kelly, let me publicly thank you for all that you've done as head of the BDP. You too have been working for years to bring new businesses and new jobs to the county. So I just want to publicly acknowledge all of the hard work, and it's great that you're still here to see the fruits of your labor. So thank you.
Thank you for your trust in this organization.
Thank you, Kelly. There's no topping Kelly Smallridge, so with that.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Commissioner Warren.
Thank you. Thank you for being here with us this afternoon, Ms. Smallridge. And I would like to echo that I think that your experience is tremendous, and I completely appreciate all that you do to make, to be a part of the collaboration of the city and the businesses that come here. And I'm happy to hear about the 856 net new high-quality jobs, with the average wage being $170,000 a year. I may apply, so I'd love to hear more about the application process for these as these come forward. But I am hoping that we see a model for how we are promoting local opportunities for people to participate and receive these jobs, and that it's not something where we're looking at relocation of employees, even though I know that that's going to be a factor. I'm hoping that a big factor is also how we promote from within the city of West Palm Beach.
Commissioner, your point is well taken, and I have witnessed firsthand and have been over the past several months assisting them in their efforts by aligning them with Ava Parker of Palm Beach State College, President Adam Hasner, as well as Dr. Deb Schwinn, and the remaining 4 university presidents here to ensure that our local graduates get the first opportunity. I am thrilled that they've opened their doors. As a matter of fact, they would prefer to hire local and not bring in from the outside.
Great.
That is their first priority.
Thank you for being a catalyst for that.
Thank you for
very
giving
much.
us the resources to make it happen.
President Lambert.
Thank you so much. I echo the comments that have been made. Kelly, thank you to you and the BDB for your partnership, and Chris and Robbie, thank you for your leadership, Mayor. I know that this is going to be tremendous and very exciting for the city. I have a question about the 856 new jobs. I don't know if either of you have kind of just a breakdown, a high-level breakdown of what types of jobs those are, and are they all in-office jobs? Are they?
They've begun posting some job postings already. From what I've seen, it's software engineers at the moment, account managers, things of that nature. I assume as they get closer to hiring season, those jobs will become more varied.
Okay, so it's a variety of different levels of jobs and different pay and different experiences?
Correct.
Yes.
Great. And then my other question is, I'm just always looking at ways that we can help ensure that this is successful. And, while I appreciate that there's the clawback clause, I want to make sure that they do create those 856 jobs. Kelly, I don't know if there's something in your experience of working with other businesses. Is there something we can do that maybe we know specifically for this group that would help ensure that they do that? We can continue to be a good partner, not just in the beginning, but throughout the entire process.
Great question. So it's a good thing that their ramp up is not 856 jobs the day that they announced this project. As you saw from Robbie's presentation, it's over several years. I think that the greatest thing that you could do is get the word out to your residents, because having your local residents aware and they have the talent, and spreading the word on their ramp up is going to be the best way to ensure. And we at the Business Development Board will continue the outreach to the universities to make sure that not only they're feeding their graduates over there the way that we did with New Day USA, but also to ensure that future graduates have the skill sets that they're looking for. And they have already agreed to partner with local universities to ensure the alignment of the skill sets, and perhaps some joint mentoring and also opportunities where their employees go and teach classes within the universities.
Great, thank you.
Commissioner Fox.
Thank you so much. This is absolutely incredible. I think, as someone that grew up here and moved away several times to New York because there weren't enough jobs, this is just every time we can add something like this to make sure that our local talent is growing up and wanting to move back here rather than going anywhere else. It's just such a huge opportunity. My question was similar along the lines of the 856 jobs, and the presentation we had before, I wish Jonathan was still here, one of his slides said, for every one high-paying job, it creates 5 other additional jobs. Is that something that you're sort of familiar with? I would love to talk more about that. So it's not just the 800 jobs we're talking about here, but other jobs that kind of come out of those jobs as well.
Yes, that's the secondary impact. And the best example I could give you is just take a look at the Wall Street South movement. All the private equity, hedge funds, venture capital firms, and finance firms, asset managers that moved here. But look at all of the law firms, accounting firms, and banks that added positions in order to deal with this new industry coming in. That's the same thing that I think will happen with this particular company, is it will bring ancillary jobs with it. This particular company is a big household name, and so it automatically is going to wake up the eyes of so many other like companies in the industry nationwide that will want to then move their companies here. But on the service side alone, whether it is a restaurant, a daycare center, the cleaners, the people who are going to mow lawns and clean pools, there is this ripple effect, and 5 is very accurate.
Commissioner Ward.
It's funny, we must have been reading each other's mind. I was actually going to bring that point up, and just to make sure, just similar to President Lambert's comment, and obviously on Commissioner Fox's comment, that you stay in contact with us, like I know you will, when it comes to what else needs to be done with housing, with schools. I mean, I don't think the everyday residents know just how much you get involved in that, and making sure that moms know where the schools are, moms know that they can make a connection in the community, and people that aren't working, and then where's their kid gonna go and what activities. And I don't think people realize how much goes on behind the scenes with that. And over the years, I feel I've known you all of those 30 years, so much so that I used to have to call you Mrs. Smallridge.
Yes,
my
exactly. Please don't do that anymore.
Yeah, no, I don't. My dad doesn't tell me what to do anymore, so, you know. But it's just, I don't think people realize how much you've helped this county, this city. I've seen other transactions go elsewhere and not West Palm, and the fact that we're able to bring in that, I understand what you're saying with it's years of making sure that businesses know that they can come here and that we have the other services surrounding it. And so I think I speak for everyone and say that we want to be partners long-term to make sure that these jobs come and they stay and they envelop into more than 800 jobs. So thank you very much.
Commissioner, the secret sauce is rolling out a concierge service with your team. And for the past several months, we've been holding the hands of these executives in finding homes, public and private schools for their employees, the appropriate hospitals, and whatever services they need to stand them up. Our philosophy is there isn't anything that they could ask us about here in this county where we won't point them accordingly, and that's why this partnership is so important. I know that I can call Chris and Robbie at any time for feedback on what you have here locally to make sure that the city gets the maximum value out of this company. But those services are what is the difference between Palm Beach County, West Palm Beach, and every other place in the state of Florida.
Remember when Class A office space used to be our biggest hurdle?
I can remember getting beat over the
Days
head.
are long gone, aren't they?
Yeah, long gone. And that is a critical piece of why this company and many others will continue to look at this area.
Okay, any other questions, comments? Robbie, you have anything else to say?
No, sir, that's it.
All right. Thank you again, Kelly. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 25-42.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. All those opposed, like sign. Hearing no opposition, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Okay, item 7.7, resolution number 25-35, granting approvals to allow the open space under a ground lease with Navarro Lowry Waterfront LLC, adjacent to 185 North Banyan, to be used during the 2025-2026 winter season by the Ben Hotel as an ice rink open to the public.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. Kelsey King, CRA Project Manager, presenting Resolution 25-35. So today on the agenda, I'm going to quickly review the ground lease and the proposed amendment, and then I'm going to invite Bernardo Neto, who's the General Manager of the Ben Hotel, to come up and provide a recap of the 2024-2025 Winter Wonderland event that occurred last year. And then we'll end with recommendation and questions. So currently, the West Palm Beach CRA has a ground lease with Navarro Lowry Waterfront LLC. The third amendment that we're discussing today will allow for the use of an ice skating rink, subject to the following terms, which is that the installation and operation of the ice rink and concession area for food, drink, retail sales will operate between November 1st of this year through January 4th of next year. There will be a special provision for equal opportunity pricing allotted to the public. Our current agreement with them under the ground lease allows that Navarro Lowry is allowed to close the open space up to 500 hours annually, because they will be utilizing that open space component for an extended period for the event. There will be a reduction in those hours for 16% of the 500, bringing the weekend hours to 252 annually, and then the weekday hours to 168, sorry. And just to orient our audience, the yellow star on the screen is where the ice rink will be located. You have the Intercoastal directly to the east, and then Elisabetta's Restaurante to the south, and then directly to the west is the Ben Hotel. Now I'm going to invite Bernardo Neto up to provide his recap.
Thank you so much, Mayor James, Commissioners. Bernardo Neto with the Ben Hotel. It's a pleasure to be here again, 1 year after. As promised, we were going to return to give a recap of what was our very first outdoor ice skating ring that was fully catered to our local community. So in terms of attendance for the 2 months of November and December, of which we sold about 85% of the tickets was sold just for those 2 months. If you recall, we did stay open all the way through March 1st, but the attendance really dropped off. So for this year, I will be showing that we'll be on a shorter window just during the holiday spirit. We looked at the peak attendance days. I thought that was relevant just around Thanksgiving and before Christmas, those holiday weeks, no surprise there. We had over 1,000 guests that purchased a ticket to come in for the day. Also, we've been asked about geographic location. We found 2/3 of the attendees were from the Palm Beach County area. Only a small number, about 3,600, were from out of state. Others were from the states that border with Palm Beach County. In terms of marketing and media, a huge splash, obviously, having an outdoor ice skating ring with real frozen ice across from the Intracoastal was quite magical. So that attracted a lot of attention on social media. So as soon as we opened November 1st, took about 2 weeks for everybody to see the activation build up. And then from there, we saw a lot of the interactions and highlights to be shared. Some of the media was picked up on the national level, Travel, Leisure, and other high-profile coverage that really enhanced the quality of living in Palm Beach County. I'll highlight about 642 million earned media impressions across regional, national, and global outlets. A Kids Quest segment, of which, quite frankly, I had to look up what that was, but it was a show that showed us in one of those destination Americas some of the best locations to go during the winter time. And we are perpetually streaming on the Palm Beaches, of which is over 5,000 locations we continue to show. We had some local sponsors that came forward. This was year one. We expect for year two to be able to get some more corporate support, of which will allow us to, our goal is to bring the admission cost as low as we can financially have. So I think the corporate sponsorships that we built have that in mind. So this year being year two, most of the companies have been able to see that last year, so we very hopeful that this year we'll have more opportunity to lower that cost for everyone. In terms of the layout, this is very rudimentary, as is just to view the ice skating ring this year. Based on the feedback that we've collected out of our community, we're saying that this year we're gonna have more ice, more access, and more community. And I'll show how we're gonna plan to achieve that. More ice, because the ice skating ring is gonna be 50 by 66 feet instead of 40 by 66 like the last year, so that makes a little bit difference, especially if you skate with my level of skill. Having the extra ice makes a difference. We thought of bringing the nonprofit community into this activation by having, we already have the commitment from the Habitat for the Humanity of the Palm Beaches and the Boys and Girls Club of the Palm Beaches. So we're inviting, and there's no limit on the amount of nonprofits that can do this, but we're inviting them to decorate their own Christmas tree and have a little placard that explains to the visitors how to get involved, and if they want to donate with their time or resources, they can do so. The ice skating ring, between the ice skating ring and our chalets, it'll be all tinted. That space is complimentary for anybody to enter. This year, only the guests that will be partaking on the ice skating will be paying a ticket, of which will be $25 to ice skate. But the rest of the family, if they want to just attend and view, they can do that and enjoy, take some photographs. We will have some light food and beverage, of which is mostly the fun food that everybody wants for the holidays. And then we're reaching out to local vendors that want to showcase their business, from apparel to, we're looking for Christmas-themed vendors that have the ability to partner with us and have a storefront open for 2 months there. So what to expect this season? as I highlighted, we expect to have more attendees like we did last year and have more of the community involved. That's our wish. Now that we're doing it for the second year, we learned a lot the first year. And thank you all for trusting us last year with this idea. So at this point, I'm going to pause and see if I have any questions. We just propose to bring some fun back to the waterfront and a unique surprise for anybody that is walking around with their families.
Thank you for that presentation, but also thank you for having the idea last year. I mean, it was totally outside the box thinking, but I think that's what makes it so special, unique. It's what makes our community so special and unique when you have community partners like yourself that are willing to kind of extend beyond their normal just business operations, do something. And it turned out to be a roaring success. So we look forward to it, assuming that it gets approved. We look forward to a second year. Any questions, comments? Commissioner Warren, Commissioner Fox?
I just want to say I love vision and creativity, and just to see this come to life is fantastic. I'm just wondering if you have any ideas for like bumper skates or something for people that don't know how to and don't want to injure anyone's children while we're out enjoying the ice skating.
Commissioner Warren, if I get some, I'll get 2 pairs because I probably need one as well. Yes, there is skate helpers. There were yesterday. I'll make sure there's plenty available.
Commissioner Fox?
Thank you so much. I absolutely loved it. I'm so excited that this is coming back. I think shortening the time of year makes a lot of sense. I remember last year at the end of the boat show, you could still see the remnants there. My question for you was, did you have any opportunities last year to partner with our city events department in terms of some of the holiday events that we already have? I think there would be a lot of collaboration, but I'm just curious if there was anything done last year or any other ideas for this year.
Yes, I do want to give credit to Angela Poco and the team. They did a great job. They partnered. To be fair to everyone, it was our first year, so we didn't know how it was going to play out. But there was a lot of synergy in terms of the way that the waterfront activated with Sandy and this activation of which complements each other. So this year, as soon as it gets approved, we look to take on the learnings from last year, take that energy that we had last year, and make it even a bigger partnership. So we're open to whatever makes sense and works in terms of that topic.
Any other questions, comments? Commissioner Warren?
And this is just really, speaking generally, I feel like this added a tremendous element to our downtown during the holiday season to create more draws to Sandy, and our waterfront is incredible. So I just want to go on record to my colleagues that this is something that is a true benefit that's added.
All right. If there are no other questions or comments, I will certainly entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 25-35.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion. Kelsey, do you have anything else to say? Okay. There's no discussion. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. Hearing no opposition, motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
It's not too early to say happy holidays. Thank you.
It's too early, dog. It's too early. It's just September. Come on. Okay. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the last item on the agenda. And this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much.